Hey everyone, you may have seen me start a video like this, and then I tell you what it's going to be about, and then I grab this thing right here, my dim bulb tester. Then I take the thing and I plug it in, I turn it on, like so. We hear the relay click. I turn it back off, I unplug it. I never show this part, but I go under here and I plug it in. Reach around back here, grab this really long wire for each speaker, plug in each speaker. I use this thing, and voila, it's fixed. And then I test it for power by breaking out this old scope, disconnecting my speakers, getting out my load resistors with all these wires in the way, hooking up each resistor, stretching a scope probe along each one, getting out the meter, putting it across one of them, plug in the scope, turn it on, measure the voltage with this, because that doesn't display an actual voltage, swap the probes for the other channel, get the other measurement, convert it to watts, tear all this stuff down, call it a video, and say, I'll see you in the next one. What if I had some really nice module or box that did all of that hooking up and unplugging for me with just a few switches and just a few cables? That's right, I'd be just like many other people in this space that have been doing this longer than me. So I built my own. So here's my initial sketch. I decided to design a bench module thing. I wanted this module to contain a dim bulb, load resistors, speaker connections, a kilowatt for measuring current. I thought about adding a variac but decided not to, and then I wanted hookups for my scope. This is my initial sketch, don't worry about this. I'll show you what I actually ended up doing after, but here's what I actually wanted to do. I wanted this box to have a fuse for safety, a current meter, and then a switch that allows me to switch between my dim bulb tester and just line voltage. This is device under test, and then we go back to neutral. And then for the speaker connections, I wanted to have a connection right here and then a switch that either goes to my test speaker or a load resistor. And then it meets right here and goes back to ground. So here's what I've got in mind. This is not a complete assembly. Essentially what's going on here is we have all of our stuff. Then these massive load resistors sit in the back. We'll see how that goes for us. And then at the bottom, we're gonna have a power hookup and a little fuse holder right here. This consists of 3 sheet metal pieces. You've got your main one right here, and then you have a side piece over here and over here that are joined by fasteners that go through this hole right here. I've got mounting holes for my load resistors, but I also have exit holes in case I want to run wires outside of this box and I don't want to have the load resistors inside of the box. So I went online to sendcutsend.com, threw these in their thing, and $100 later, these were laser cut, bent, and shipped to my front door. Oh heck yeah, they sent candy. It's always so cool to see things in the 3D space come to life and hold them in the palm of your hand. I could have had them powder coat these, but I thought I could just rattle can it and get away with that just fine. So let's see. Oh, looks like somebody really sucks at checking their assembly. I'll need to drill a hole right there. Yeah, right there. What an idiot. Oh well, you win some, you lose some. But at least it fits together nicely. So the idea here is we mount with these holes and these holes, and we put it in the wall. So I'm thinking we take this sign that the jet pontoon guy made for me, we put it right here, and we'll take the box and we'll put it right here. That's my thought, so let's get to work. So first thing, and this is kind of a gimmick at the end of the day, I bought a new old stock Simpson AC amp meter. We'll check for fitment, see if I got that measurement right. Oh yes I did. So that'll look cool right there. Then I've got these switches that are on, off, on. They'll go right here. And it looks like that'll fit once I force it in. We've got these guys right here. Looks like those will fit in great. And then I bought a whole bunch of these guys here, the 2269 Pomonas. And once assembled, they will sit right in here. And I will use banana cables to plug my speakers right in. So these switches will have load or test speaker, whichever one I decide. Then down here, this is how we'll plug in. That'll get bolted in. And then a fuse holder will slide in like so. Yep, perfect. And then I bought these absurdly massive load resistors. They are 300 watt. So let's see if these holes line up. No, they don't. I got a dimension wrong. See, the bulk of this design was done like after midnight, and I'm like half asleep, and I'm reading data sheets and getting values out of them, and you know, just There's gonna be mistakes, but luckily you can drill holes in steel. It's not too bad. And that's pretty much it. So Send Cut Send did a great job. They cut exactly what I told them to cut, which was wrong in 2 places. I'll have to fix that, paint this, and then we can start assembling. Yeah, don't worry about it. It's gonna be fine. All right, let's go ahead and rattle can this thing. Now, obviously you can tell by this picture that I am a person with 2 interests. One is pets, my cats, and number 2 is automobiles. Also given away by the oil-stained cardboard. So we'll clean this with some brake cleaner. Get any and all potential oil off of here. Yeah, see, we don't want that on our metal when we go to paint, do we? Oh, and by the way, I slit these guys up here so I can actually get a fastener through. Just did that with the angle grinder and a cutting disc. So for this, I'm just using Rust-Oleum gloss primer. I am not a painter. I do not do this very often, so please don't judge me too hard. Well, that first coat is looking pretty good, so now it's time for my next trick, a 3D printed stencil. And it's gonna contain, you know, the stuff that all these things do. We have a visitor. And that is what he does when he wants me to feed him, because he knows it makes me very angry. Hey! What do you think you're doing? You think that's gonna work on me? What do you have to say for yourself, big guy? Yeah? You are not content with my behavior? Yeah? Come here. Come here, Scratches. Yeah, who's a good boy? Who's a good boy? Who loves the scratches? It's this guy. Oh, who's coming to play? Who wants to play? Who wants to play? You know what this is? This is the tab from a Mauser electronics box. It happens to be one of his favorite toys. Yeah, there hasn't been much cat content lately because it's wintertime and I have to compete with Mom, who is always downstairs with the fireplace turned on and a blanket on her, so that's a lot more enticing for a kitty cat. But good news up here, that video came out today when I'm recording this, and up here my stencil went okay. I had to completely redo everything, but now you can kind of see what I'm thinking here. You're still going with that thing? Where's your sister? You gonna go get her for me? Okay. Alright, I've got all kinds of stuff laid out in a mess on the bench. I'll at least show you this part, because this will probably be the only satisfying thing I can record with this. We're gonna install our plugs. There's one. So that one. We're gonna do our switches. That ain't going nowhere. This will go like this. One more like that. And this came with this little note. I'll put it in first. Wow. Yeah, this note basically says, like, make sure you have your wires, like, not bending before a certain point. Like, 2 inches minimum before you bend your wire. I'm not sure if you're gonna buy that meter used, you're gonna get that message. Yeah, this is pretty cool looking. I think it's gonna look really good when it's done. I'm not gonna record myself wiring it. You saw the schematics. And it's just gonna take me probably an hour or 2 to do that. We have another visitor. Oh, come on. Hey, come back. Everyone wants to see you. See? Everyone wants to see you. Everyone misses you. Come on. Play with it. You wanna play it? Where'd it go? There it is. Where is it now? Oh yeah. She doesn't play quite like Hodor does. She's pretty chill. Okay, well, do you want scratches? Yeah, she just wants little scratches. All right. Who's a good girl?
Everyone's so happy to see you.
Here's the progress so far. Not much. And voila, there it is. First, let's look at the front again. Let's just kind of put it down like this. So again, the idea is you've got what you're testing right here, and this switch either puts it on the dim bulb tester or just power, which comes in right here with a fuse holder. This is one section of this box. This section is completely unrelated to this, and this is just your speaker loads. The idea is I've got my speaker connector. I'm going to plug this into my device under test. I'll go right here so that sound goes into here. Then I can either send the signal to my test speaker, which comes out of the side here or the other side, or I can send it to an 8 ohm load, and that load is inside of this box. And this is where there's going to be an outcry in the comments, and people are going to get angry and say, you're wrong, you did this wrong, this is going to be terrible. And that's fine. Go right ahead. This is something I built for me. I think it's going to work for me and what I do. It is flawed, and I'm going to walk through that. I failed to buy the non-inductive style of this 8 ohm resistor, but if you look into inductance in resistors, it's really a problem in higher frequencies. About the only thing I ever plan to send through here is 1 kilohertz, and that's not really going to cause any problems in something like this at that kind of a frequency. I mean, I've done my entire channel on these guys, which are inductive, probably more so than these guys, and everything's been fine. Maybe all my power ratings have been completely wrong, but I don't think they've been that wrong. They've all lined up with what things should be. The other thing this does is it limits me to only 8 ohms, but I didn't think I could cram 4 ohm, 8 ohm, 16 ohm into this one box that is this size. So if I want to get 4 ohm, well, guess what? I can just wire these guys up in parallel somehow outside of this box. It's not that difficult. If I want 16 ohm, I just add one of these in series. Not that big of a deal. And again, I designed this thing such that if I don't want these living in here, I can just put more of these guys right here. I added this geometry down here so I can go to a separate box and do whatever I need to do if need be. The other thing I don't really like back here is I've got all this AC stuff next to all of this speaker load stuff. So I don't know if this 60 hertz is going to interfere with things, or if kilohertz going through here or music going through here so close to the AC 60 hertz is going to do anything. I don't know. But really there's only one way to find out. And then lastly, this meter is a gimmick. Like, it's not going to do anything for me. I should have something that's more like 0 to 5 amps. And I can do that. I could go back and switch this at any time. There's lots of these Simpson meters, new old stock on eBay. If I really want something else, I mean, this kilowatt fits right in, you know? It's really not that big of a problem. So anyways, it's time to install some drywall anchors and relocate the sign. I'll be right back. Alright, it's looking half decent. So here's that big old speaker cable I was talking about earlier. I put some little banana plugs on the end of it, and I'm just gonna plug this right in to the box, and that is where that will stay. And I've done the same thing over here. And this is kind of sad here, but we don't really need my original dim bulb tester anymore. Now we've got the new one. It goes right there. These guys, I put banana plugs on the end. They'll just get to sit right here, always, and they'll be easy to grab. I'll just let them hang out down there when I'm not using them. Got a device to test? Okay. There we go, right and left. And then maybe some of you have noticed it, but I bought a brand new oscilloscope. This is a digital oscilloscope. I thought that with the way things are going, I might need to have a digital scope to see things a little bit better. But really the main reason I bought it is because it's not so deep like my old analog one here. It would be hitting the wall, you know. Well, I guess it's not so bad, but I don't know, you get the point. I can whip out the analog one if I ever need it. And then I've also got cables right here that allow me to hook up to the box. And guess what? We've got banana plug on the other end of this. I could hook my scope up that easily, that quickly. And this scope will also give a voltage readout, so I don't need to hook up the multimeter every time. So everyone remembers the power washed Marantz 2245. Let's let this thing be the first subject for our test box. But of course, we kind of need a power cord first. Let's get that taken care of. So we'll take our Marantz power, we'll go right into device under test. We'll turn it around, we'll take the left speaker wire and we'll go into the left channel, and take the right speaker wire and go into the right channel. While we're back here, hook up our signal, and at this point there should be no more wires needed. So let's turn on power to the power strip. Let's turn on the dim bulb section, and let's try turning this thing on. So there we go. Dim bulb section appears to work. We still get a relay click. Let's turn on the scope. Let's see if we get any signal out of the FM tuner. So I'll set this thing to FM and I'll modulate the volume. Let's see if it picks anything up without doing anything. Oh yeah, see, I'm modulating that volume and we've got sound. Now I'm still learning how to use this thing. So like you saw, we turn this on, we get sound. Let's turn on our speakers. Do we hear anything? We sure do. And there's no antenna hooked up here, so this is kind of to be expected. But now let's go ahead, let's switch it to aux, and let's turn on the tone generator for 1 kilohertz. And obviously we can hear it from the speakers, but we don't want to do that. We want to go to our 8 ohm load. And then when we look at up there, we'll be able to see clipping when it starts once we get the scope set correctly. Oh, silly me, I forgot to take it off of dim bulb. Let's turn that off. I guess we can switch right here. Put it back to line. We saw our amp meter move a little bit. Oh, that was kind of cool. I just hit the auto button and we got what we're looking for here. You see, this is more difficult to film now that we've got this up here and everything down there. See, this is going to take a lot of getting used to, but at the end of the day, I only had to hook up one thing to get this one result. And I can see what the voltage is. I'm checking with this and I don't need to look at that anymore. And then when I'm done, I just go back to speaker and then I can hear it. No more of this unplugging, undoing everything, you know. So, and I just ran that for quite a while. You know, this is 45 watt per channel receiver. I don't feel any heat coming off of these resistors, so that's a good sign. Everything seems to have went well. I'm almost embarrassed to say how many hours I've spent working on that thing. It's been an enormous number of hours. And I've put a lot of thought into it. I've had lots of doubt. I've gone back and redone things, and I'm just at the point where I finally have something that does do what I set out to make it do. And I'm going to work with this until I feel it's necessary to change it or improve it. If this is something you happen to be interested in and you don't want to design your own and you want to save, I don't know, like I said, it took me hours, multiple nights to come up with this. I'll send you the CAD and I'll send you a bill of material if you buy me 5 coffees on Buy Me a Coffee. I'll link that in the description. That's a $25 fee for many, many hours that you don't need to deal with. If anything, it's a nice starting point. You don't have to start at nothing. You've got a list of things and you've got CAD that you can edit if you can do that. And then you'll be off to the races for your own box. But I'm not looking to make a bunch of money off of this design. It's flawed, like I said, but I think it's gonna work really well for me. So with that, thank you so much for watching, and thank you to all my subscribers and my members who get early access to videos just like this one. I hope you learned something. Maybe this inspired you to do this for your bench. I can't remember if I said it, but I've been thinking about this for years, and I finally took the time to do it, and I'm pretty glad I did. I think this is going to be a nice transition and make future videos better, future repairs faster, and just, you know, be a nice improvement for me. Thanks again, and I will see you in the next one.